You ever wanted to hook up an osmosis machine in your house? Make sure you have fresh water all the time from your ice maker and freshwater faucet right on top of your sink. Well, you're in the right place. That's what we're going to do today. I'll walk you through step by step how I connected this up and how I have good, clean, fresh water now coming from the city or from a well.
So there's many of us who want a water solution where we can get clean water easily right out of our faucet. And it's very difficult to do so without knowing exactly what you need. So today I'm going to show you how to install the iSpring water systems solution that I use. Let's get started.
All right, so first you're going to need to decide where you can fit this tank and that system.
I think I can get it under this counter, and then we're going to mount the faucet up at the top. I'm going to have to run, there's no electrical here, so I need to run an extension cord through this wall behind the dishwasher and up and over behind the refrigerator to this plug. So it'll come out of that plug, out of that socket into here. So let me fish that line, and then we'll get on with the installation of how you hook up everything for the water under here. I'll be right back.
We got the cord ran through, and we'll hook this up to a surge protector on this side, and that'll allow us to plug everything in. Now we need to hook up the tank. And I'm thinking we just set the tank back here in this corner behind all the pipes and everything. Because what happens is the system doesn't produce water very fast. So what it does is it stores excess water in this tank. And this will hold a gallon or two of water. It looks like a gallon, maybe two. See if it says on here. 10 psi. It doesn't say, but I think it's either 1 or 2 gallons. It looks like it might be 2 gallons. It's pretty big for 1 gallon. And it's full, so it's a little heavy to work with in here. So what we do is we'll set this here on this point. Now, the ice maker was already ran in here, so we don't have to deal with the ice maker. It's already ran here. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the ice maker. We're going to disconnect where the ice maker is connected here. We're going to run that into the osmosis machine and then split it to come back out to here and to fill the tank for fresh water at the sink. I'll walk you through each step of it as we go through it. But let's get now that we have the tank in here, we know where that's going to go. I'm thinking we mount the osmosis along this wall here. So let me get that over here and we'll get started with that. All right. So this can be pretty simple here and pretty straightforward. We're just going to set this right in here and route. Now, this has 3 different water outputs. It has red, which is the incoming water. So what we need to do is we need to disconnect the ice machine's water feed and take this line off. I don't know if I can release the pressure on that through the water on the... And let's see if we can get that to disconnect now. You just push this in and that comes out. There it goes. All right. So we need red going to the fresh water, implying that it's red, implying, I'm assuming that they're implying it is red water, meaning not clean. So we'll take this red wire here from the osmosis machine and we'll make it the input. We just simply push it in there and that locks it down nice and tight. Okay. Then the next piece is the yellow water. And yellow water is pre-filtered water. And so that needs to run up here into this tank. And that's so that it can fill this tank up with excess water when you're not using it. And then when you want it on demand, it has a couple of gallons of water stored and can easily provide that water for you. All right, then we have the output water, which is here. And we also have the black water, which I have to locate where it is. Oh, here it is. Here's the black water coming out of this end. Now this is black implying this is the wastewater from the machine. Now this needs to be mounted on the pipe leading out of the system. So going to use this hole that's here in the drain. May have been an osmosis machine before, which is just a small hole that leads down into the P-trap that leads out. This will allow this water to flush out in a very similar fashion that your dishwasher runs its wastewater out of here and down and into the P-trap to leave. So we're going to route that black water here. And in order to do that, they provide you with this little device here, which we will just squeeze around this, and this rubber seal will seal up right there to that. So let me see if I can situate this phone. All right, that ought to give you a good enough view of this to see it. So I'm going to take this clamp and put it around here. Put this nut on here. Now what I need to do is get that water line fed in before I tighten this, so that I know it's in that hole and that when I tighten it, it seals. So what I'm going to do is just push this through and it's push it into. So now it's pushed into that pipe. And I don't want to go all the way. I want to be about halfway in so that it can drain into that pipe safely. And I'm just going to tighten this down. And then I'm going to take the adapter here and I'm going to tighten it up so it tightens around that pipe and works into that seal around that drainage pipe. This doesn't need to be super tight, just tight enough to squeeze down good on that pipe now, and so that should be good and sealed. Now you may need to put some putty or something around this if this leaks. I'm going to try it without because it had a nice rubber seal on there. And so now we have everything but the fresh water leaving and the faucet that goes to it. And that's going to connect to this valve here, which is the out valve, which it states here, spring water. All right. So now we have the original water going to the ice maker. And we have the going one to the faucet. Let me find the one to the faucet so we can install that. All right, so we're going to take the faucet here, which just connects to another water line on the bottom right there. I'm just going to move Snoop out of the way here, drop him down into this hole that I drilled, which should make for a nice little location for that water to come out. Looks quite natural. And then underneath, I'm going to put this connector on it to tighten it up. I want that valve up there, and I can probably show you. You can see it coming in somewhere up there. Where is it? It's right here. So I'm going to push this on that water line. It's just like another easy tap. As you can see, it just connects to the bottom of it. Now we can run this line and this line both over to this tap. And so the question is what we need a piece of spare cable. This looks like this one is more than long enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off. All right, so this part should be just as easy as the rest. We're going to run this wire up here behind this and connect into the intake here, or the fresh water out from here. And once we're connected there, then we're going to run across over here, and I'm going to run this into a splitter that will allow me to feed both of these other lines. All right, so we ran that line over here, and I ran it into this splitter, and one side goes the fresh water up on the top, and the other side goes back to the dishwasher, or not to the dishwasher, to the ice maker, so that now the ice is also filtered water and the refrigerator has filtered water. All right, now that all of this is done, we're going to put this surge protector in here and plug this in. All right, now that that's plugged in, we're going to turn this on, and I'm going to turn the water back on and watch for leaks. Now I heard it fill the pressure tanks, and now I'm going to turn this tank back on so that the fresh water that's in there can feed the system. And then we're going to see if we actually have water in here, because everything was pressurized when I disconnected this. We turn this on, and there comes out water. And when the tank pressure gets low, then the machine will turn on, filter more water through all of this, and depending on what size system you bought, this is a 7-stage, 1, 2, 3 down here at the bottom, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I take it back. It's a 6-stage, and so it's a 6-stage filter with a tank, and it also has a low pressure pump. Now you only need this pump if your water pressure is below a certain point. And here I've got city water, but I've also got well water if the city water goes out or is not in use. So I have this for the well pump because it only runs at 42 pounds, and it would need more than 42 pounds. It operates optimally at about 60 pounds of pressure, 55 to 60 without the pump. So if you've got consistent city water, then you could just get the one without the pump. If you need the one with the pump, it is a little bit extra. And now everything should be working and running like normal. And the only real way to know is for me to run a whole bunch of water and see if that runs out eventually. I hope this helps. I hope you understand now how to hook up your osmosis water machine and get fresh water directly from your sink and your ice maker. It's very simple. Anyone can do it. I'm going to include some links down below that will allow you to order one of these machines directly off of Amazon. They ship it out, and as you can see, it's very easy to install. And you can put it right in a sink, and you can take care of your ice maker and have fresh water to dispense it anytime you want. The nice thing is even when the water goes out, if the city shuts the water off, you have the storage tank back there that stores a couple of gallons of water for you. And so you still have a few gallons of water even after they've shut things off for a while. And that's usually enough to get you through making a tray of ice, or getting a couple of glasses of things, or in my wife's case, setting up your coffee for the morning. So either way, I hope this helps. We'll see you on the next video, and thanks for watching.